So you have 137,000 followers. All right, so you are going to kind of give me the scoop on the inside life of a PGA Tour player here.
Okay.
Getting paid. Do you think any PGA Tour player does their own taxes?
I would hope not.
Playing a top course for fun.
Obviously, we can't just call up Augusta National.
The vibes in player dining, is it kind of like a high school cafeteria where there's certain spots that you sit? Switching coaches.
Switching coaches. It can be complicated.
Michael Kim, welcome to The Scoop.
Thanks for having me, Claire.
We went with vanilla, your second choice.
Vanilla is great. Vanilla is great.
Share what your first choice was, though.
My first choice was key lime pie, but you know, I'm a simple guy. I like vanilla too.
I will have to try that at some point because I have to say I've never had that ice cream. But I wanted to start off and ask how you fell in love with golf.
How I fell in love? Well, my family immigrated over to San Diego area here in year 2000, and my dad thought it would be a cool thing to try as a group, as our family. And now I'm the last man standing. I'm the only golfer left. Everyone else has basically quit. But you know, just one thing led to another. I started playing a couple tournaments here and there, and I wanted to be a bit better than I was playing, and all of a sudden I'm here on the PGA Tour talking to you.
Full circle, kind of. You've made
Full
it.
circle.
I should
I
say.
have made it. I
Just
have
kidding.
made it.
We're at Torrey Pines this week. You went to Torrey Pines High School, so you must know this area very well. What is your earliest golf memory of this place?
I think in 2000, maybe 2 or 3, Tiger came to play, obviously, and he made eagle on what used to be Old 18 on Torrey North. Came with a buddy of mine to watch, and there's a ton of people, and he made eagle. We all went crazy, and that's one of my first few memories. Another memory, I actually came to watch farmers, not just Tiger, but other guys, and Aaron Baddeley threw me a golf ball. I think it must have been one of his first few years out here, and I mentioned to him that he threw me a golf ball when I was like 13 or 14 years old, and he kind of laughed and said, yeah, that shows how old he is now. But those are some of the memories I have here.
So we talked to your college roommate or college teammate and fellow Twitter pro, Max Homa, and I said, what should we ask him about the college days? And his first one, which you already guessed, was Korean 101. What's
Korean
the story
101.
of this class that you took?
Yeah, so I was born in Korea, so I am fairly fluent in Korean, and because of our college golf schedule, we had to be done by 12:30, and there's a lot of classes at Cal, but there's a limited amount that you can take before 12:30. And one of the classes available was Korean, and I wanted to take the advanced class, but a lot of the advanced ones were like 3-4 p.m. I couldn't take those, but the beginner ones were at 10 a.m. So I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to take a class too hard. So I went to Korean 101, and I realized it's a little easier than the level that I was at. But you know, I faked it around a little bit in the beginning, but the professor kind of figured me out pretty quickly. But she was cool about it. She understood and let me take the class for a full year.
Would you sometimes, like at the beginning, would you get a couple answers wrong or something just to not let her know?
Basically, like, you know, she'd give me something to read, and I would kind of read it really slow. And for the homework, you actually would record yourself talk. And this is how Max found out. We would always room together at tournaments, and I would tell Max, hey, I have to record something for my Korean class, so can you be quiet for like 30 seconds? He's like, yeah, no problem. And I would read, you know, I'd say this, you know, if I would say the scoop normally, I would say the scoop, but I'd be like, the scoop. And he started laughing. He goes, what are you doing? I was like, I'm recording this, and I can't be too fluent in it, and so he got a big kick out of that.
The second thing he wanted me to ask has to do with chocolate cake. Does that ring any bells?
Chocolate cake? Oh yeah, I mean we my freshman year, my first weigh-in, I weighed like 130 pounds or something like that, and so we were Max and I started working out together after my freshman year, and I was trying to gain as much weight as we possibly could, or as I possibly could. Yeah.
He said he would like bring you to the dining hall and feed me. That's what he had
right.
said.
We had like a routine. My freshman fall or spring, we'd go work out at our facility. We'd go to the cafeteria, and then we'd eat a bunch of whatever we could find.
Yeah.
And I'm sure chocolate cake was in there.
That's great. So you have 137,000 followers on Twitter/X. How did you even get into posting on that?
Well, again, Max kind of enters the view. I played. So Max and I, our careers kind of misaligned in a way. When I was playing well, he wasn't playing very well, and when I was starting to play bad, he was starting to play well, and so. I obviously knew about his Twitter and how big it had gotten, but I hadn't really played with him during tour events to like really see how big it had gotten with fans and his reach. And after I got my card back in 22, I played with him at Safeway first 2 rounds. And that's when I was like really surprised at how many people came and was there to watch him.
Yeah.
And so. That was a big like aha moment, like, oh, okay, maybe I should start doing something. And I'm a nicer guy than Max, so I don't just roast people. I try to help other people.
Yes.
But I thought I could kind of, through my ups and downs and my golf career, I felt like I had a better understanding of the golf game, definitely more so than amateur. So I thought could be a cool way to put my name out there a bit more. And I didn't know what I wanted to get out of it, but I thought it could be a fun thing to do, and it's been great so far.
So you post these awesome weekly recaps. The one from just this past week, like paragraphs. Are you taking notes during the week and saying, okay, I want to remember to talk about this, or how does that work?
Yeah, I usually like Sunday night I'll write up something, but if there's something I definitely want to remember, I have a bunch of things in my draft portion that I'll writing things in here and there, and but usually most of it's done kind of Sunday night, and then I'll post it on Monday.
Awesome. All right, so you are going to kind of give me the scoop on the inside life of a PGA Tour player here.
Okay.
You've done this awesome job of kind of explaining how things work. So even if it's not from your own point of view, just how it all works. So the first one would be courtesy cars. What's the deal there?
Courtesy cars is like one of the nicest perks we get as a tour pro. Usually we fly in, like this week here at Torrey Pines. We flew from Phoenix down to San Diego. I got a text with a volunteer text me with, hey, I'm right outside baggage claim. Let me know when you get your bags. So as soon as I got my bags, I walked outside, found someone in the Genesis logo, and I signed a couple of paperworks, and he hands me the key, and I drive off. It's I don't have to mess with any rental car or anything like that. It's truly one of the best perks for sure.
And then what about bringing it back? Like, we're gonna have to bring our rental to the hotel or pick it up, whatever,
Yeah.
drop it off. How does that work?
A lot of times they have drop-off locations right next to the baggage claim again at the airport. Other times they ask that we bring the car to the golf course, and then they'll give us a ride from the golf course to the airport or wherever you're going. So yeah, it's even the drop-off is easier.
Getting paid. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
It's I assume it's this for most everyone. I think they just said they're not doing checks anymore, but most everyone just gets a wire transfer Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, right into your bank account, and that's it.
Do you think any PGA Tour player does their own taxes?
I would hope not. It's really complicated.
Yeah.
Like we pay taxes on the earnings we want in the state that we played in.
Right.
So last week I would pay Arizona taxes on however much I made last week. So it's really complicated.
Yeah.
I would hope no one
Sounds like
does.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
Booking flights.
Booking flights, pretty simple. I have a manager that helps me out, and she'll send me options here and there, but it's just easier for me to go up on Google Flights and find the one I want, and I take a screenshot and I message her to book the flight, or I'll just call. There's a PGA Tour travel phone number that I can call, and there's travel agents that helps us book flights as well.
And then on the back end of that, if you're like, so on a normal week, are pros not even booking their flight home or to the next spot, or do they wait for Friday and then Sunday? Are people changing flights all the time?
I think we all book flights on Sunday, like whatever the last flight, if it seems manageable, like 6 p.m. If we can go home, fantastic. And then if you miss the cut, then we're changing flights. Usually, as soon as we're done with the tournament, we want to get to the next spot as soon as possible. But if you miss a cut, maybe you can go home for a couple days, relax, practice a little bit, and then head to next week. But I think most people have flights booked Sunday night to wherever they're going next.
Got it. Playing a top course for fun. How does that work?
It depends. Like obviously, we can't just call up Augusta National whenever we want. But a lot of courses are pretty understanding if we call and we ask for the head pro or the director of golf, and like, hey, we're in town for the Farmers this week, or the Genesis this week. Do you think we could get a round in if you're not too busy? And a lot of them are very generous and say yes.
The vibes in player dining, is it kind of like a high school cafeteria where there's certain spots that you sit, or how does that work?
There's certain groups that people tend to eat with each other. You know, it's just like high school. You find your group of friends. Sometimes it's really busy, so you end up sitting with a guy you don't really know, but you could get to know then. Or if there's usually enough space if you just kind of want to be by yourself and grab a quick bite to eat and go, then that's totally fine too.
Switching coaches.
Switching coaches. It can be complicated. Your coach in a lot of ways is your closest confidant, and it's golf, but at times it feels like you're just going to battle together.
Yeah.
And for me, I tend to, when I pick a coach that I enjoy working with, we've worked well together, I tend to keep that relationship going for a while. And it can be like the toughest thing in the world to call him, or
It's like a breakup.
yeah, it's legitimately like a breakup.
Yeah.
And it's this person you feel like you went to battle with, you have all these past memories, like a breakup, but if you feel like you really need to change, then usually the coach has kind of done this for a while too, so you understand that it's time to go your separate ways, but sometimes people get back together. So it just depends, but it's just one of those things where it's a really tough conversation to have sometimes.
Finding a caddy.
Finding a caddy. Again, kind of like a breakup with your significant other. There's actually used to be a few guys that had a rotation, but that's pretty rare these days.
Like a West Coast caddy, or
basically.
Okay.
Like there would a player didn't want like a caddy for 3-4 weeks in a row, so they would just do 2 weeks on, and then he'd bring another guy 2 weeks on.
Keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh. But he was also a player that didn't rely on his caddy very much. He just wanted someone to talk to, and he would do all the numbers, and he would know how to play the golf course. But caddy, you know, he's the only person you can really rely on when you're playing the tournament. So obviously it can be tense at times, and you know, each player caddy relationship is a little different. You get ones that are truly like best friends, and
Yeah.
they stay together at the same room, they eat together at dinner together, and then there's a bit more like business like, where you just meet at the golf course, and then once you're done, you're done. But once you change your caddy, then depending on how good you are playing, as soon as you tell the caddy world that you're a free agent, you usually get a few text messages saying, hey, I heard about the breakup. I am available to caddy for you if you are interested. And usually you kind of have an idea of who you want to reach out to once you decide that you're going to get a new caddy.
Why do you think you have such a unique outlook? Because your Twitter is unlike anybody else's on the PGA Tour. You give insights that maybe people don't even pick up on. Why do you think that's such a strength of yours?
I think when I first decided to do the Twitter thing, I didn't want to be the guy, the standard like athlete tweet, like, I'm happy to be here, looking for a great week, like, see you out there, fans.
Yeah.
And I knew that I didn't want to do that. And you know, with like podcasts or stuff like this with you, Claire, in the Scoop, like, I feel like people wanted more inside the ropes access stuff. And you know, just thinking what my friends would want to hear about, what they're interested about. I figured that would be a good start, and that's kind of what I think why people like my tweets, is because I try to give as much access without giving, you know, personal information.
Definitely. I ask everybody this at the end, but then we'll still do our rapid fire. But a low moment of your career, a high moment, and something you've learned.
A low moment. I mean, I could go for a while about my
Padre
low moments.
Carrington did.
Low moment, I think. So, I have two that I really remember. One, my low moment was at RSM, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. This is kind of like at the deep, darkest cave I found myself in, that I've dug under myself in, and I missed the cut. Not only was I playing bad, but I hit a ball under a tree root. I hurt my wrist. It ended up not being like too serious of a thing, but I ended up losing my PGA Tour status that year, and I didn't know if I felt like I didn't know where I was going to go from there. You know, I was probably going to have to sign up for Q school, which I didn't have to at the end.
Yeah.
But
You thought you might have to.
I thought I had to. You know, even if I go to Q school in a few months, like, I don't know how well I'm going to play, and do I really want to keep playing until playing like the mini tour stuff? I didn't really want to do that. And then it ended up working out, obviously, but then my second low point is actually like 3 months after that, 4 months after that. That's when I decided to see Sean Foley, my coach right now, who's really helped me kind of piece it back together. And you know, it was the very first Korn Ferry Tour event, and you know, in practice it felt good, and leading up I felt like I was seeing some signs that I was playing well. And after like the first 6 holes, it was okay, it was pretty good, and then all of a sudden, like, the golf ball was going all over again, and it's kind of like the hope, and then like another crash that really hit hard. And you know, it was kind of one of those, like, man, like, this is kind of like my last chance at the year, and if I keep continuing down this bad path, like, am I gonna have to give up the game or something like that? But then I realized during my second round, I realized my driver had cracked, and I had been playing with it for that entire week, and so that's in my mind. Those first 6 holes that I was doing okay, I think the driver was fine. And then maybe on like the 6th hole, it cracked, and that was truly kind of my lowest point. And then from that point on, I changed driver head, and I found my way back from there. That was probably the lowest point. And then the highest point is probably the John Deere in 2018.
You won by what? 8?
I won by 8. Yeah, I won by
insane.
8. I don't know how that happened, but I played great. Played the British Open very next week. It's kind of a bit of a blur now. Can't believe it's been almost 7 years.
How'd you celebrate?
That's crazy. Not much. I was so tired.
Yeah.
It's a long, hot week. I was just stressed out of my mind. I was getting like 3-4 hours of sleep every day. But we took a charter ride from John Deere to Carnoustie, and because I won, they had champagne. They opened a bottle of champagne, which was really cool, and I think I had like 1 glass and I just passed out for the entire flight.
Are those charter flights like it's just packed with PGA Tour players?
It's all tour players, caddies, some limited family members,
Okay.
and even PGA Tour reps.
Okay,
in
cool.
there. Yeah.
And then something that you've learned.
Something that I've learned. Something that I've learned. I think it's mostly about golf. We think of pro golfers think of golf as this almost, when we're playing the tournament, it feels like a life and death scenario. Like if I don't hit this fairway, my life is gonna be over, or if I miss this putt, it's kind of the end of it. But you realize that if you have a good support system, family, friends, it's almost, they see a better version of you than you think of yourself at the end of it. And those are kind of the most important things. And golf is important to me for sure, but at the end of the day, I see it more as a passion, but more of a job too. So at the end of the day, I have people that care for me and love me, and I love them back, and that's really the most important thing at the end of it all.
Definitely. Okay, our final segment here, Brain Freeze, presented by Penguin. 10 rapid fire questions. Your top artists that you listen to.
Top artist? I promise you probably haven't gotten this. It's probably a guy named G Dragon. It's a Korean guy.
All right, we'll have to look him up.
Very famous in Asia, but probably not as much in the USA.
Okay, part of your game that needs the most work.
Right now, putting, which is ironic because when I was at college, I was an amazing putter, and that was kind of what I hung my hat on. But putting right now.
Okay, best show to binge watch.
Best show to binge watch. Give me 1 second. Landman?
Oh, what's that?
I think it's called Landman. I'm sorry. I
don't know the names of anything I watch.
I forget. I watched a few and it was really
good. It was good?
Yeah.
Okay. Lowest round and where?
Lowest round. I shot 61 at a course called Robert Trent Jones Golf Club.
Solheim Cup. They had it
yes,
there. Yeah,
exactly.
We were there.
Yes, exactly. The head pro at the time. I was on my way to shoot 59, but he heard that I was playing well, and on like the 15th hole there, this is par 5, I was going for it in 2, and he got so excited, he was driving the cart over from the left, and as I was like hitting my second shot, I saw his cart and I pulled it into the water, and made bogey instead of birdie. If I had birdied, I would have shot 59, so I always give him crap about that.
Favorite movie?
The Dark Knight.
Course you haven't played but want to?
Cypress Point.
Last pro golfer you texted?
Max Homa, actually.
Best shot you've hit in a tournament?
Best shot I've hit in a tournament. A few years back, in 2021, on the 5th hole here at Torrey Pine South, I was in the right bunker. The pin was tucked middle right. I hit like a 5-iron. It was just a prayer to hit it on the green, and it went in. And I made the cut on the number on that Friday. Yeah.
Last book you read?
Last book I read, it's one of Sean Foley's books. I forget the name. It was like kind of a serious book, so it was kind of like homework. So I don't remember.
He's a genius, though, isn't he?
Don't let him. His head is big enough as is. So I wish I could tell you. The last golf book I read was Golf Beneath the Surface by Raymond Pryor.
Nice. And finally, your favorite player to be paired with?
Siwoo Kim.
All right.
He's a blast.
Awesome. Michael, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Here at The Scoop, we have 2 golden rules. 1, you need to have good ice cream. 2, you need to have a good outfit. And that's why I'm wearing Penguin. I've got the jacket, the sweater, and even a pair of pants. So we're ready to go.